Check the, I have it on the screen share. Just check that we, that doesn't look cut off or anything.
Checking.
Starting to get the hang of this software a little bit.
Let's see. I think it is cut off a little bit to the
Right?
like, yeah, like there's like a big gap.
Yeah, okay. I don't know how to undo the gap. If that makes any sense. I don't know how to, like I'm moving it now, right? But it won't fill. I'm wondering it's
Yeah,
because I have it on this screen over here.
probably it was sizing it for the bigger screen.
It's a bummer, bro. Because I just set. Oh, what did I just do? Because I just set all this up to like so I can just focus in front of me, but I don't know how to get this to um, whatever the word is. I don't know, bro. Software is so complicated, man. There must be a setting or something that tells it the dimensions, right?
Yeah, like the aspect ratio or something.
Here, let me see. Shape, automatic. Oh, how did that
Oh, there it
work?
is.
I had to
There it
switch
is.
it to
Yep.
wide. Okay, so let me now just move this.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay, I figured that out. But the border is right there. Do you see my cursor from over here?
I do not see the cursor.
Are you cut off? Is my face
No.
cut off? Okay, all right, perfect.
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay, so I think we're good here. Okay, perfect. So I got that working. I got this working. Yay. See, now I can code and just stay in front of my camera. I have to be really close up though because of the background, but that's for another day. And we can see, how do you pronounce her handle? Nia Bits. Nia Bits is kind of cool. And then I got this, which we don't use because I'm always hacking on this. And I still have this, but the show's not over yet. So we're here. All right. I think I got everything working here. So what I want to do today is hack on. By the way, Kevin, I got my phone here. So if you need to talk to me, use,
Okay.
but I have Slack up here. Though you shouldn't have to do that, right? Because we're here. When I put my headphones
Exactly.
on, I
Yep.
have to turn off Bluetooth because if a call comes in, I can't hear anything.
Gotcha.
Okay, so what I wanted to do today is hack on Kronk, I should say it. I'm starting to build out the web, the model server essentially now that the API is stable. I'm also waiting for Ron to let me switch my screen for a second here. I'm also waiting for Ron to release his next version because there's some fixes in it that I need. But he's a slow man. We fixed a bunch of bugs today in Yzma that I need for Kronk. So waiting. Anyway, let's bring up Kronk here. So
I did use Kronk earlier today. I was able to get one of the chat examples running and installed everything, and it was pretty simple.
just worked, right? Yeah, we had some
Yeah, it
bugs
just worked.
where somebody had a GitHub token set and things were failing, but that was ended up being an Yzma. Though I put a quick fix in waiting for that. But that's sweet, right? And so the next idea is I'm trying to mimic Olama a little bit so we can sort of have a model server that does it. Kronk is essentially a model. The Kronk API acts as a model server already. It just doesn't have a web interface, right? It has a Go interface. What I'm really hoping is maybe somebody on this call has Windows, because I can't
Oh,
really
yeah.
test anything on Windows, and I don't want to buy a Windows box, and I can't use the GitHub runners for Windows. They're just too small for the level of testing that I need to do. So there is somebody that has a Windows machine. Um, that would be pretty amazing. But even
If
if
you did
yeah,
after the call, I do have a Windows computer. I just don't have it set up for like dev work, but I do have a Windows computer next to me now that I use for gaming and stuff. So if you needed the testing, we could do that.
yeah, we should set that up to. We don't have to do a lot there. Like you don't even we'll have to install Go, obviously, but we should
Yeah.
set that up as a. We don't have to do it today, but the next time you're at the house, which I don't know when that's gonna.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to do it online. We should set that up with a VS Code and a Go dev environment, so I can do some Windows testing on this because I don't know what isn't gonna work right now on Windows. Like Ron's done a bunch of Windows testing, but like from a configuration standpoint, I'm not sure.
Gotcha.
But anybody that's on the call, if you want to play, this is the project, clone it, and I can walk you through a couple of things if you want. But what I really want to do is hack on. Let me get on here. Hack on this a little bit now more. So let me show you where I'm at so far with um, the server side. So under command, I've got now a cronk command, which is essentially a CLI. So you can even install it already, but let me show you what it can do already. I'm just trying to figure out how I want to just say how, well, I've already installed it, so I can just use what I've installed here already, right? So I can do cronk help, and you can see already that I have this working libs, so you can use it to install the libraries. Like, don't think of like these example programs do all the installation for you, right? So this code's using the same thing. And I did that in the example programs just so somebody could just clone and go, right? Um, but what's cool is I've got already like cronk list. So these are all the models that I have loaded already. And everything gets loaded in your home directory under cronk as a default. You can obviously control that. Then, so these are the models that I have. Then I already have the ability to pull a model, though I want to make some changes to that. We'll hack on this in a second. I'll tell you why. I do have show, so I can say, Cronk, show me details about this model, and it kind of loads it up and then gives me all the, I don't know why, there it is. Took a little longer, but I can get all the details about that model out of the metadata for the model, which is kind of cool.
That's nice. So you don't have to run the install commands to run the examples?
No, you only have the
Okay.
examples just work by running that make example chat and stuff like that. I
Okay.
made sure that
Yeah.
this cronk CLI is going to be for the essentially for the model server and managing it. But like the one thing Olama does, which I don't want to do, is Olama makes you start the server first before you can use the CLI tool to do anything. That to me is sort of silly. So right now I don't have a model server running, but I can list the models that I have. I can show details. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
kind of trying to do all these things where eventually you'll say server and it will start, and then you can sort of interact with that. And then once it's running, you can see which models the server's using and things like that, right? Um, I did add support now for when you pull a model, you get the details on like its progress. HashiCorp has this getter package, and dude, not only do I have it now where it shows me the progress and the speed, but if you kill it and start it up, it can restart from where you left off.
Whoa.
Oh, I know, badass, right? Like big badass is badass. So I have like all that where I don't want to download a model right now, but you could try it. Like if you wanted to download a model. The problem right now is, so let's fix that problem first. So here's the problem with downloading the models, right? So you kind of have to know where the models that you want are. Okay. So this is actually more. So that's like the model page on Hugging Face. And then the idea is I would want to use this 8-bit quantized version. So here's the download link. I can copy that link and then I can tell pull to go pull this model down. Okay. There's no super sort of clean way to do that, but it's nice that that was in the metadata, right? I didn't have to remember where that was. It was in the metadata, which makes me like when I do a cronk list, I like having the file names, but you don't really know
Hmm.
where I pulled it from. It might be nice in cronk list to add the URL if it's general URLs
Definitely,
in the
yeah.
metadata, right? So maybe we do that. Um, we do that first, okay? Well, which means I got to load things up. But let's say we did that first, and I added the metadata for that. Here's my problem: when it comes to the vision models, you need what's called a projection file to go along with it. So this is an audio model. In order for it to
Okay.
properly work, you need a projection. You see, these are two separate files that you have to download. Now, there's not
Hmm.
much I can do about that. If I go under files and versions, I can also see what I want to download, right? So I wanted to download this, but I also now need to download this. Now, I don't,
Okay.
from a cronk perspective, like I don't know if it, I won't know if that is needed. I don't even know what it is, what it's called. People name this differently all the time. So there's no way for me to sort of make it easy where if you download this, you download this. And that's fine. I'll live with that. You're going to have some knowledge that if you're using a vision or an audio model, you need a projection file. And you can see that I found them here. All right. And
Hmm.
that link, if I copied the link address here for a second, I just put it here. Let's put it here for a second, just because that's the model that I'm playing. Oh, audio model, really. So let's go into audio for a second. So if I copy that link, right, you can see it's essentially, actually, it's not the same link, is it? This one says blob main. It says resolve main, but it's got the same file. So this should work. Let's just try this link instead for a long minute, right? So
Okay.
I'm just kind of curious now. That should work. So I'll do the following here. I'll do that, and then I'll ask for this link. I'll put that here. Okay. My code can parse this out and get you file names. I didn't add the
Okay.
remove command yet to the cronk CLI. I wish I had, but no big deal. Cronk models. I'm going to remove manually the two audio ones here. Actually, I could just rename them just so they have a different name, right?
Yep.
All right. Okay. So now when I run this, it will download these and then we'll see if it still works.
Gotcha. Okay, so each example is getting those URLs and downloading those
That's why I
models
asked
that
for the
that are defined.
URLs at that level. Now you can see here
Got it.
that um, that download didn't work very well, right? Like those are not good
Hmm.
links to download these files, unfortunately. And you can see why it came here, right? And then here's the actual download link, actually, which my guess
Yeah.
is the same one I had, minus I don't need the download true. And my guess then is if I clicked on this, I'd have the download link, right? So for sure, right? And I've had a hard time learning how to navigate this. I can go into files and versions, select this file, and then they'll give me a download link, which would be here.
Gotcha.
So now, since this is the work I did yesterday, where you can get progress on what's being downloaded. Now, I'm going to kill this for a second
Okay, I
because
see.
I'm going to kill that for a second because I'll just put these back the way they were. I gotta kill this one. Put these back. Okay. Right. So basically, part of this little function I wrote, which is install, it can essentially install a model. Basically, it's downloading these files. Okay. It's downloading these files to this location. So I can't do anything about this piece. You're going to have to go and find the download links for the model that you want to use. And if it's a vision and audio or vision or audio model, you're going to have to know to find the projection file, right? Like there's no way for me that if you give me this, I even know what quantized version you want or anything like that. When it comes to Olama, they have a specific set of models so they can do that. And they know what to down, like, because everything's already bundled. So here's my problem though. What bothers me here is that you have to specify, like on startup, okay, you have to be able to download this. But when we're running on the server side, I want you to just be able to say this or this, right? And it all work. So if there's a projection file there, we'll auto-magically use it. That's what I want. And the only way I can think about doing that is under models, I put all of these models in a folder. See, if I pre-put them into a folder, which could be essentially this part of the URL, right? Because that part will always be there. There's always going to be Hugging Face something, the name, resolve main. Like the structure is always the same in a sense, right? And
Got it.
even this, I could decide that this could be the folder, right? That way, you want to try a different version of Quen from a different person, you can. And then you would just specify on the file side this and that, just the folder name, right? See, I think that would be cool and organize the models that way. And that way, when I download this one, this file would end up in the same place. See what I'm saying?
Got it. Yeah.
So I need to do that work. And then I think adding the URL to the list could be, but you know what? Once I do this work, I don't need to add the URL to the list anymore because I'll know that tells me exactly where it is, right? At this point, this is the URL. I can add that URL anywhere and just do this. You're there. So actually, it solves a big problem for me. So what we need to do, what I want to do in this session here is break this out where this will be the actual name, the folder, and this will be sort of the name of the model that we're going to play with. And then we'll find the actual model file and load them up sort of that way. You'll still be responsible for downloading things, but at least they're downloaded in the right place.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay.
I have this install. No, that's under examples. I have an install package that sort of does all this work already. And it's here for the download. Now, because of my backwards compatibility promise, because I went to 1.0, this is the original download model. I had to keep that API. It gives you no progress. Maybe I can deprecate it at some point. And then this one gives you progress. Maybe, I mean, these models are so big that to not have progress is kind of silly. Actually, you know what? I always
Yeah,
wanted
you'll kind of be there for a while.
to. How do I deprecate this API and go? Dude, I'm at the point now where if I have to go look at Google, I just ask AMP.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way with Cursor. I'm just like if I need to go into a Google search at all, I ask it. But I I was doing some stuff with Better Auth, and I found that it was giving me wrong information. So I had to actually go and give it the link.
I put this in the wrong place, didn't I? Yeah, I also have completely turned off tab completion. I realized that I was fighting it more than it was helping me at this point. And
Hmm.
I forgot that I had turned it off for training. And then I coded for like an hour and I'm like, why does this feel so easy? And I was like, oh yeah, I got, dude, it was making changes at other parts of the code and it was screwing me
Oh,
up because it was moving fat, like you fat finger something. And next thing you know, a bunch of other code has been removed.
oh wow. Yeah, so it was like jumping you around with
It was
that sort
being
of
too
tab.
aggressive. So the only thing I really loved about it was mainly like coming up with error messages and shit, but whatever. Like, but my life just feels better without it. And then I just click over to the agent like I just did when I need it, right?
Now that you mention that, like, I wonder why they haven't done a sort of like sensitivity to the tab completion. Like how aggressive or how like
I don't know, dude.
gentle it would be.
There are times where I turn it on because I don't want to, I know it's going to do a replacement for me faster. So I'll turn it quickly on,
Yeah.
let it, and then I turn it back off because it's usually more in my way than anything else.
Hmm.
Okay. So look, here's the pull file. I've got the URL and I've got the model path, right? Okay, that's in the download folder. Now, I got the URL. Where am I using? Oh, here it is, source. Okay, so I need the URL, but the destination right now, we go back to the destination, is the model path. What am I doing? Oh, so I think it's auto-magically pulling the file out already, right? It's
Okay.
smart enough to know that's the name of the file, and it does that for me. So it's all about the destination now. And ideally, I don't want the destination to just be the model path. Okay. I want the destination to be a part of that URL. So again, this is like where I start using sort of AI to help me when my brain isn't going to work here, right? So like given this URL, I need to extract these two sections, which these two sections, which will make up part of the model path. I'm down to like $50 in my, I was even using the Oracle
Oh
to help
yeah.
me with all my concurrency. It found so many
Mm.
interesting concurrency bugs that I had. It was super interesting. So,
Path segments with regex.
yeah, forget about regexes for now.
Nah.
So essentially what it's saying is, I know you're screwed up here, that if I do a parse, then I split, I can keep those two parts. So fump.sprintf is essentially going to be %s. Actually, what I really want is not that. I want a file path join where I take the model path and part 1 and part 2. So you see how it gave me some initial code that was kind of cool, but you know why it doesn't know. I already did the parse anyway. Good. So now I can do that. However, I've already validated it's a path. If the parts is not greater than 3, do I even want to do this, right? I would argue that it's an invalid Hugging Face path model, wouldn't you?
Yeah, if they're all gonna have that same structure.
So really, if it's less than 3, then I'd want to return.
Yep.
Now this is where I wish I had completion, right?
That's where tab
Yeah.
completion, yep.
Invalid.
It would be nice if you can hotkey it.
I wonder if you can hotkey it.
Just make a shortcut so you can kind of like turn it on and off. I'm sure there is.
Maybe. Actually, should look that up for me.
Yeah.
Invalid Hugging Face URL, which right now I'm assuming that I'm only supporting okay. Oh. All right, so I'll split that. Now I've got the model path plus these other 2 pieces. The funny thing is yeah, I split it up. Now I'll end up with these 2 pieces, which is cool. And then I should be able to download into that particular location, right? So let's try this new code now. We should see a folder with these 2 files in it now once I do audio. Now, it's not going to work because it has to return the file. Oh, okay. Let's think about this. It no longer can return just the file. I got to do all this before. Okay, let's do this right. So now I have a model path, which now means that I have a proper file location. Yeah, that should work. Let's try it. So I'm going to do a make example audio. It should start downloading. Okay, it is. Sweet, look. Oh, that's so awesome, bro.
Nice.
Okay, so the key is it puts the projection file in the same place.
Like if that first part of
Sucks,
the
I gotta
name
go and
matches or
download
something.
all this stuff again. But, well, yeah, if that works, I'll just manually create these folders for the rest of this.
Okay.
If I see this working. But I need to see both files in here. That solves a big problem I have, because then when the server comes up and you specify the model name, I can then load both that and the projection file if it's there. What I can do is sort of filter out the projection file by looking for the letters PROJ, because they all have that name of some sort. Now, the other option is to specify in the API that it's a projection file and give it a, but I think it's better to keep its unique name. So even when I do list, I shouldn't be listing out projection files, right?
Yeah.
But so far, they've all either had PROJ, or PROJ in them. It's some in random places. So if you see this one, you see how it's PROJ,
Yep.
and then this one has
It's like in the
PRO.
front. Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's
I
leading
don't
it.
know if is always going to be a naming convention, but for sure they're going to have. So I think if I find PROJ in the file, that's all I'm going to need to do.
To put it in the same folder
This will get it
along
in
with
the
like the
same folder,
corresponding.
but at least I'll know which one to load because. But
Mm.
you see how there's no consistency in that. Now, the other option for me is if you tell me it's a projection file, then I use the same name I had for the model and I just attach the PROJ to it somehow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the thing is, if I just got rid of, oh, that's interesting. In both these cases, if I get rid of proj in the name, I end up with the same name here. And the
And the other one too.
Quen25. Oh, okay. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to remove we're going to look for PROJ dash somewhere. I mean, I don't know if that's consistent all the time, but then I could rename the file. Okay, so something didn't work here. It downloaded. Oh no, look.
There it is. Yeah.
It downloaded both of them. This is exactly. It didn't run, but that's another story. Well, it could be because I'm not loading the files right now because they're moved, right? So yeah, I just don't know how consistent the MMPROJ dash is related to a name, right? So I think we're gonna have to ask the caller to tell us. Okay, let's do something first though. This should have worked, right? So let's double check what happened here. When we are done with this, am I not logging?
Downloading.
I don't think we use the right file name. So let's just add a little logging here for a minute. Once I install the system, I get the two files that we need to work with. Let's just do this for a second. Make sure that the names are right. This is where I'd be fighting tab completion. It'd want to do all this for me, and I'm just how much faster I am without it. All right, this time it should see that they already exist. And this time it worked. So it could have been just, this stuff's always a little buggy. But how beautiful is that, right? Like it knows, it did come back and give me the full path of where those models were when I ran it.
Yeah.
So it could have just been a silly thing. Okay. So this ends up being really great because it solves one of the problems that I had with getting this organized, right? So let's do the following for a second then. The chat stuff is in the Quen. So I should be able to add a new folder called Quen. And the question is, do you want to keep the case or not, right? So the Quen model, which is Quen 3, 8B GGUF. I can move this here. Move that in there, right?
So I did find a hotkey
Oh,
that
you
you
did?
can do. Yeah. You can assign it, at least in cursor. I don't have amp.
Oh, but I have to assign
Um,
it. All
yeah,
right,
you have to assign it.
let's play with that later.
Yeah.
Okay, that's that. Then the 2 audio files I already have. And then the 2.5, the vision file. That was under this org. And under this folder. And there's 2 of these files. Yeah. Because these organizations, like people fork these models and then they fine tune them. And you might want to try, like I tried one of these one time audio and that didn't work. And then the embedding one. Okay. Which is also
Gotcha.
the same GG org, right? Uh,
ggml-org.
but that's the name of that folder.
So that's essentially the author, like the ggml-org.
Sometimes, yeah, this is the person that sort of owns that repository on GitHub, just like if you had a Ardan Labs or something.
Yeah.
And then we've got the models in here. Okay, so much better organization now, right? Much better.
Yep.
But now the idea here, the next idea of mine will be that you just specify the folder names because
Okay.
that second level folder is always going to be sort of unique to that. In other words, if I come back to this and I wanted, say, whatever reason I want this, right? Looking at Quen. Where am I here? Merkaraka, Aka. Right? So if I look at the download link for this, let's just see what happens. Edit. Oh, copy the download link. I'm just curious what this one looks like. Oh no, it will be the same folder. Okay. So you are going to have to specify the file within the scope of that for sure. There's no way around it. There's just going to be no way around it. So one of the things that this little install package does is based on the URL, it will return the full file path back to you on where it is.
Okay.
Right? That's so from an API perspective, that really helps because it's giving you that. Now, I could add an API that doesn't go through this whole sloth where if you just say, here's the URL. But again, maybe you already know that that's the file. Right now, you know that it's this, and that. It's just from an API perspective, you have to know a little bit more. On the server side, I can't expect you to know that. On the server side, I need to show you this, right? And then show you like on the list. So let's go back to the list for a second. Let's go back to the list command for a second, right? So now the list command has to change a little bit because
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look in the model path. The model path is going to look like this, okay?
Okay.
But there's a whole other set of, right? It's not enough. That's like the organization, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we're really going to have, let's say, org. Like, what do you think this represents? That's the org,
Probably
right?
that's probably the model itself, like or
It could be the model itself. And then there's a version of that model that you use, right? So,
mm-hmm.
so let's
Yeah.
say that you had org, then you had the model, then you had the model name. And when it was, let's just start with that, right? And so the idea is um, that's like the organization, that's the model class, really, right?
Okay.
And then you have
So probably
all
org
these,
class and then name.
but we could just keep it at model for now till somebody can give me a better sort of name for that. So that's your org, that's your model, that's your actual model, like down to like, is it quantized and all the other stuff that sort of comes along with it. Like if we
It's
look at
almost
the
like
metadata,
well, not version.
yeah, if we
I'm
look for
using
the metadata, like the general name, base name, it's general name. So it really is the model name. It's just a general sort of model name. But then there's the actual, let's do that. Okay. So what does that mean now? It means that when I'm going through this list, right? Let's capture this in a comment for a second. So now the idea is that I'm going to have something like this, which represents the org. Then I'm going to have this, which represents the model. And then I'm going to have this, which represents the file, right? So I've changed the path structure to the models. Can you fix the for loop on line 33 to handle this change? Rocky wants to know what we're doing. We're working on the Cronk CLI tool. That's part of the Cronk server, model server that we're working on. And right now we're just dealing with model management. So let's see what this did here. Did it do what I wanted to do? Boom. I hate when it does that because Can you apply this change to the code? Sometimes I don't understand what it's doing. I just tell it to do it. But I like
Yeah,
that
like
I like it doesn't do it auto-magically. You know, that way I can see what's going on sometimes.
it didn't.
No, I don't know what I did.
Is it on like an ask mode? Does AMP have ask mode?
No, I can normally just tell it to do it. And no, I want
It's saying
you
it added the
to take
lines.
the suggested code changes and put them in the code. I'll try it one more time and then I'll just do it. Essentially, I think just stop it. Whatever. So I'll just do it myself. So now it's going through the entries, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it read the directory, went through the entries. If org is a directory, continue. I don't think that feels right. We're only expecting directories
Org
there, right?
entry. Yeah, so it's
Oh,
saying
if
if
it's
it's
not a
not a
directory.
directory. Yeah.
Okay. Now you get the name. Then we read the directory again. And this time,
It reads org entry name.
I don't know why they did this. I don't think this is good. Oh, see, this is what scares me sometimes. I almost feel like it made some changes.
It's weird.
Whatever, override.
Okay.
Yeah, it may have, I didn't see it or something. Okay, so now we get okay, so we got the org, we got the model. Now we get the file entries. We do all of that. And now what we need is the file name, but that should be info.name, right? Let's see if this runs. It'll be interesting. So if I do, I got to build it. I can just run it here locally here. I got a list command here. Make list. So we didn't tab write it very well, but we'll fix that. So I don't think it did what we wanted it to do. So let's go back and break it down again. The org names should have been these, right?
Those, yep.
Yeah. But I see
It's
the
just
file. It's almost like it
it's just
wrapped it.
repeating it. Oh no,
So
Quinn.
maybe what we need to do is this. Do it this way. So, oh, it did put the name after. I really should have done this, right? What if we combine the org and the model? Then we got the file name. Then we got the size. Oh, why did it do it twice? Maybe that's better. There it is. And instead of this, nice, right?
Okay. Yeah.
It just
So
compacts
now it
it
has.
because if I do another tab for the other thing, it'll just go too far.
Yeah, I think that's nice. So it includes the org and then the model name and then file name size. Okay.
Now, I don't want projection files here showing up. So what we want to do then is say, I don't know if I want projection files. I guess a projection file can show up. Let's get back to
I
the,
mean, it's required, right, for an audio.
it is. What I'm worried about now is, and we can get the CLI tool to work with this. I'm worried about when you choose a model. Imagine that I got the server running, okay, and I'm using Open Web UI, and I choose a model. I don't choose a projection. I just choose a model. I have to know
Yeah.
that this is the projection that I want to use. This is my problem. And there are times where there's different projection files. So you see there's two of them here because maybe you're playing
Yeah.
with the F16, right? So
Okay. So you need to kind of know.
I need to know this one's connected to that one. And I've only played with two of these. And we can see that if I got rid of this, then I have the same name as the other one. Now I can make this naming assumption if I want. I can't, I don't know what it is. So somebody still has to specify it, right? Specify it's a projection file. Or I can do this at an API level. So let's go back to this for a second. Okay. The API is going to require, says, if you have a projection file, give that to me. The Cronk API needs to be this low level. It can't be smarter than this because what we're building now is for an application, not for an API. So
Mhm.
it's okay that I specify these two and I load them somewhere and I get you the names. That's fine. You wouldn't necessarily need to use this code. If you downloaded these two files manually, you can use Cronk. I don't really care where they are, right? I'm just trying to add some
Yeah.
support. Now, that being said, what we could do is add a different API that's not install model. All right. Where is that API anyway? But this is a silly package that I wrote here. See, model with progress. Okay. This is the only thing that's real. So what if we added, I might just break the API to do this right. I just might break the API. Let's say I'm going to break the API because I don't care, right? Then this is going to be model, okay? Now, think about from an API design for a second. We could write another function that says projection. Or,
Oh,
right? Or we make it part of this API where you're giving me both, well, not the model path. You're giving me a model URL and a projection URL so I can combine them. Or I create a separate API for projection, but I would still need to know this.
I feel like they're related though,
They are
in a
related.
sense.
Like if there's a projection file, you need it. The question
There's a
is,
corresponding audio, yeah.
like, right. And so if I do this, if I break this API and do that, okay,
Mm-hmm.
then I can join these two together, is what I'm saying. I can join them together. So let's play this out. And let's name this. So oops. Okay, right? So I have that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then I still split out this. Now, this would be the M file. Okay. But
Mm-hmm.
I think what would be interesting, this is the model path plus plus the name of the file. Can the P file, I'd love the P file to take on this name, but replace the extension with, say, MM,
Mm.
or take on this name and do this for consistency. Let's say we did that. Okay.
Okay, so it'll prefix it with that mm
Yeah. But the name of
project.
the model
Okay.
file.
Yep.
Okay. Now, the problem is that this is not going to be the name after the download. We'll have to do a rename.
Yeah, because it'll be downloading it under however
It's going to be
they
actually
have it set
called,
up.
it's really going to be called this.
P file.
And we only want that if, again, if this is not null. Okay, let's do this.
Because there could be a P URL or not, or
If
a
that
proj
equals
URL.
nil, and now let's say we're going to return. Oh, I still only have to return. No, you still need both. Just play this out. All right. May have to use a struct now for this. Because it's getting too big here, right? This is the model file name. This is the projection file name. And we were returning whether it was actually downloaded or not. Okay. And then this could just be this, right? And this, get faults for free. This. Now this becomes mfile. Model file name is mfile, and everything else is essentially false and empty. Okay. Good. Because we're saying it already exists. So the projection file might not. So I got to get back to this. Okay. Then we pull it. Let's do a second. Let's just keep this clean with one thing. Okay. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to keep this super clean. Watch. Watch how we're going to do this. Okay, watch this. Okay, we know this works, right? I mean, I can even just technically just call this down. Oh. I'm going to make it an unexported function for a second, okay? Now, if I do come here and add this here, I can do a couple things, okay? First thing I can do, I don't know how to do the error handling just yet, but I can call pull, passing the model URL, right? Oh, that's why I can't call it URL. What can I call this? It's not just a model now. This could be any file, right? File URL. Fine. Okay. So I can pass the model URL. What happens if I call this file path? I'm trying to make this generic, right? All right. Model path. And then the progress. Okay. And then this gives me some info and an error. And if there's an error, just return the error, right? You're super quiet, so I don't know if you went mute or something.
I've
What?
been talking on mute this whole time.
Oh,
Yeah, so now it'll be a generic pull function that kind of works for both
yeah, because then
the
the idea
model
is,
and the project.
yeah, then the idea is this, right? Do that.
Yeah, and that makes it a lot nicer.
I can call this model name I can call this project name. This can continue to return basically the string and the bool.
Yep.
You thought I was ignoring you this whole time?
No, I was just talking, but I
Dude,
figured you were in the
everything got
in the
super
zone
quiet.
there.
No, like at some point it gets so quiet. It's so,
Yeah, I had my dog crying, so I muted. Yeah, so this is much nicer. Now it's a generic function that you can kind of use to pull rather than managing all of that
yeah,
in
we got to
one.
do it one at a time anyway. And the other part here is, right, if is empty,
Yeah, because
then
that can be.
we can just return an info that has the model name downloaded. No error. But if there is a projection file, now we can have some fun here because
Okay, so early return.
now my problem again is that I wanted to control the name of the file, right?
Yeah.
But I can't control that because the getter package that I'm using just I give it a destination, but it comes up with the file name by reading it. And that's fair, right? That's fair. So what's going to happen is after it downloads it, this is going to be the full file path to it. It's not just the file, right? It's a file name, but and even model names for model. But whatever. So it's the full name. Anyway, I need to rename that file.
Yeah, when you download it.
So essentially, I need to rename project name to which do this again. But I know at this point that we've already done this test, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't have to really check for that here. I've done the test already. The poll would have failed.
Yep.
So now what I need to do is rename the file to because that's going to be the full path, right?
Yeah.
See, I hate the use of the name here. Probably better to call it file.
Because it won't just be the name, it'll be the entire path, right? That's
Yeah, it's the entire path,
okay.
which
Yeah.
is what you kind of need. Yeah. It's really the file. I even use the word file down there, right? So, so you do that pull. You do this pull. I wonder what the progress looks like when you're. Yeah, we'll see. And then we got to rename. But I don't know if the path screws us up here. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work. And this time they put it in there for me. Yeah, we'll see. Oh, now we can do our final info, which will be model file. See, this is where tab completion helps, but whatever. Since I'm fighting it all the time. And I learned how to code without it a long time ago.
Yep.
Now, we actually have two downloaded. You have downloaded
MF and PF. Yeah.
Okay, so what I need here is if any of those is true, the whole thing is true. How do I do that and go? Right? If this is true or that is true, I want this to be true. Dude, I don't even. I wonder if there's a quick. I don't know if I could just do. I don't know if I could just do an and logic. I can. Okay, I thought so.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
could just do an or, right? I don't know. I second guessed myself on that one.
Okay. So you can. Okay. Cool.
It's just an or, right? If that is true or that is true, then the whole thing's true. All right. I just second guessed myself. So what this does is it should bind the projection file now with a name that we can sort of rely on, right? I don't know. Let's see what happens. This is now broken because I just said model. Install model, projection file, model path. Oh, and now we get an info.
Oh, yeah. Info. Yep.
Okay. And pull we got to deal with now too. So, but let's just deal with what I got here now. Info. Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll have to fix this still. But if I come back to our audio for a second. So now I want to change my little helper install function, right? To do that.
Mm. Okay.
We might as well return that anyway.
And this function was in charge of installing.
It was a little helper function that does all this printf. So the
Okay.
install package can't be printfing anything. Like that would be bad. So under
Hmm.
examples, this was just a little helper function to allow me to see on the screen, hey, checking this, doing this, downloading that,
I got it.
right?
Okay.
Right. So
Okay.
see, now the idea is this returns that info.
Yep.
And I can just keep info.model file, info.pro, like I don't have to break
Project
this,
file.
right? And
Yeah.
now I got one install. Like
Plus code.
this was the idea to try to. I need this for the
Okay.
model server. So what's happening is the model server needs a little bit more. It has to be. It has to do things for the user, where the API has to be quite the opposite. It has to be flexible to allow you to control this, right?
Hmm.
So you don't even have to use the my install package if you don't want. But the server does, because I'm giving you a CLI tool to download things. You could decide to use it even if you're using the API.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Like there's two parts to this project now. There's the API itself,
Yep.
and then there's a server that we're now building. And the server is basically an application that's using the API.
Got it. Okay. So the API needs to remain flexible, but the application itself,
Is going to control all this.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, everything is yellow. So now the next thing to test is if we come back to audio, okay, to start this program
Mhm.
up again and see if we get what we need and it all works. So I'm going to come back into here and remove these. I'm just going to rename them. So it's not going to find them, right?
Yep.
Right. So now if I do a make example audio,
Mhm.
okay, it's starting to download.
It's getting that one. Audio. Yeah, looks right.
It's kind of cool though that you can see the progress and everything.
Yeah, that's nice, especially with like larger models that you could be sitting there. Like for me, it took, I think it was a good like 10 minutes to get all the models when I did the make command.
Yeah, that's using curl,
It's a
right?
nice,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know I've been torn about keeping this in the examples, but I feel like if I don't, then people have to do a couple of things in order to get things running. By having this in the example, it automatically downloads, right?
Yeah, I didn't know that, so I just did it like the makefile way because that's just how we usually
Yeah.
do stuff. So I
In
was
fact, we
going
now
that
have to
route.
fix the make file, right? Because this no longer is. Oh, all of this is wrong. I'm not running anything from test anymore. I'm running things from home cronk. Shoot. I pulled it out of test. But now this is wrong, right? Because this is now.
Oh yeah, the directory changed a little bit.
See, this is the part we're working on now where we expect that format.
I'm proj.
Okay, let's see what happened here. I didn't get the projection file.
No, it says it downloaded it.
Put it in the wrong place.
Yeah, okay, so it's a path. And then it doubled the proj.
Okay, so we got problems there. But we should be able to just try to download this thing now. Okay, let's go back and look at that code for a minute. I might as well.
It's almost like you need to strip it before adding your own mmproj.
Yeah, we definitely got things we got to do here. I'm just trying to get this since I started it. And the idea is that this file should be called that when we're done.
Yeah.
That's the idea. I wonder if this curl
You
will
should
work if I do this. Try it later. I'll try it later. Would be nice because I can't read this damn thing. Okay. I almost don't even need it. I should just do this with the CLI tooling now, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. So the file ended up in the wrong place.
Yes.
So let's go back and look at the code then. We did the pull. We would have had the model path shouldn't have changed. The project, the URL, let's take a look at that again, is this. So that was
Which
fine.
it's, yeah. And the model file went to the right place. And they're both using model path.
So let's print out the following again. Let's not do this for a long minute. I don't care if it fails. So it's downloading the projection file, downloading it in the right place, as would be expected. Now, this is the original file. And this was the new one, which is why it all got screwed up. Okay. So,
Oh, okay, I see.
yeah.
It took out
We just did the
the.
model path. We don't have all the work we did here.
Mhm.
You know, we need. We did work here that pulled out this file path, right?
Yeah.
And we don't have it on the way back out. And it would suck to.
But it comes back correctly on after that pull. It's
Yeah, because we
on
have
line
it
139.
on, well, on 131, it came back correctly, right? Like we
Yeah,
have
like
this
that
full
one
thing.
looks right. Yeah.
So all we want to do is get this name and rename this part here.
So it's not 1 and 2. Well,
Okay, we just want to manipulate this. We want this
yeah,
to become,
just that exactly. Yeah.
we want that, right? We want this.
Which it did do, it just didn't. It stripped like the org part of it.
See, I thought I could just take the name, this name, and just what I really want, this is what I want to do. I want to take the model name, okay? And
Mhm.
I'm going to do strings that split. Actually, I can use file path dot base model
The last
file.
element of a path. Yeah.
This will give me it should give me the name of the file.
Mhm.
So this is the I don't know what to call it, but this is the model file name. Okay. Now I want the projection file name to essentially be that's what I want. Okay. And then what I want to do is still use all of this, right? It's almost like a replace now. That's going to be the new name. Then I can do the replacement. All right, let's see how this works. I'm going to do is delete this again. It worked, bro. This
There
time
it
it
is.
worked.
Yep.
So now we got what we wanted. I can run this again. Shouldn't try to install it. Oh, it's trying to install it again because the name changed. Okay, so fine. So let's be smart about this again. Fuck. So, oh, did I just use the F word online? Yeah. The problem is that I can't call the download on this one because I've renamed the file. You know, I have to check it first before I call pull. I have to do my own. I can never remember where that code is. There's some sort of OS stats or something. Stat. Yeah. So what if we did this? Give me this. If file info error. If error doesn't equal nil, actually, I don't even need the file info. If it equals nil, then we know that the file already exists.
Because what is it that OS stat is doing?
It's doing it. It checks. It's a way of checking to see if a file exists by asking for some
Okay,
file information.
got it.
So the idea here is because we're renaming it, we download that. If it already exists, great. If there's a projection file, we'll come up with the names. And then we'll check to see if the file already exists. If it already exists, we're done. The only
Got it.
problem with that is what's nice about pull is it checks to see if it's completely downloaded.
Yeah.
Where now I can't do that because I'm renaming it. But I don't know how else to do this because if I don't rename it, I'm going to have the hardest time on the server binding these two things together, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I just know I'm going to have trouble later on binding these two files. The problem is that if you kill the download, you're going to have an incomplete file. You'll have to manually remove it somehow. But let's not worry about that problem right now. This should prevent it now from. All right, let's try it. So I'm going to run it again. I got to do all of this model work before I can start working on the server because the models have to be there and you have to be able to load them up.
Mm-hmm. So that was audio.
Okay, so that worked, right? And it's named perfectly, the exact way we want it.
MM. Why did it have an MMJ?
Oh, because I'm an idiot. MM.
MM Pro. Okay.
Okay. Then If I run it again, no. Why
It
didn't
wants
that
to
work?
install it.
Let's double check this code here. If there is no error, that file exists. So what is the error that you're getting? And this time you worked. Did I not handle that right? Worked, right? Why didn't it work that way? It does work. I don't know what happened. Maybe I didn't save it. That's probably what the problem was. Okay, so now what I've done is I've gotten these two files exactly the way I want them, right? Let's see how this works with the vision model, which is these two right here. Let's download these two now. See what happens. So essentially, if I come back here, now I'll run the vision. And again, these two files, right? Okay, so it's downloading this one. I should have tests for all this stuff. Ron writes tests for everything, man. Ron is a test fiend. I should write tests for all of this. Validate. At some point, I decide like today is test day, and then I write tests.
And just write a bunch of tests for everything.
But like this logic here, the logic that we're writing in here. I mean,
Yeah.
if I use this, I'm not using this code to download the models, but if I use the CLI tool to download the models, then I'll be testing it because I'll do it in the GitHub runner. So at some point, I'm going to have to use the
okay.
CLI tool to do this. So it's a better test. Okay, that worked.
Yeah, there it is.
So what we now have is an install that okay. So now we have this little package that can help us download things and then based on a URL, return back where they are on disk based on your default locations. This little install package that I wrote at the example level is just putting words all around it, right? I can't do that in the main package because you can't be functing anything. So now when I run this again, right? Check, it's installed, it runs. It's a beautiful thing. So
nice.
Okay, that's fine for this, right? I got the examples working, but now we got to come back to pull because this works because we changed it to where you have to specify both the URL and the projection at the same time, so they get bound together, right? And users are going to have to sort of know this, because if you don't bind these two things together, you just treat this like a regular model file. It's just going to keep it. Now, from a CLI perspective, that means that this pull command right? PP, oh, I should do, really should look like this, where that second one is optional, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we may have one or both, which now means that this will be a string. And then what we can say is, if I'm guaranteed that there's one there because of this, right?
Okay.
I don't know if they have a optional or something, but this gives me a guarantee that this fails if I don't have at least one argument. But now, if the length of args equals 2, then I can say this equals 1, right? Okay. So at least this gives me the ability now to specify both and then handle that. Okay. But because what's interesting to me, I want to look at one thing. On the projection side, we call this twice, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, it means that that's why it worked, because it said downloaded complete. Okay. I'm just looking at an output situation here. Okay. Oh yeah, if complete print. Okay, that's why I went. Okay, perfect. All right, so this pull command should now also work. You have to specify both. You just have to always join them together, right? And the user's going to have to know that. There's just no way around it. But at least if you join them together, then we have this beautiful sort of situation where these files are the same. That's going to be helpful, because now when on the server side, when you start, you specify a model, right? You're going to specify this, right? That's what I'm going to list. And then I'm going to see that there's a projection, and I'll automatically load it up for you behind the scenes, right? And this is what I've been trying to get to. Oh, of course, you have a DS store there. I hate DS store files, bro. I thought I found a way to get rid of them, and I didn't. Remove home cronk models. I gotta get rid of all those DS files. Or let's at least ignore them, right? If name equals .ds store, continue. All right. So I don't want to tab this. I think it's going to push it too far. But I feel like I'm having a hard time reading that.
Like you're saying tabbing the model column?
These two, yeah. Like if I separate them, let's say I separate them. Yeah, I'll keep it like this. It's better. That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. No, it's a little bit more. Yeah, I like that.
All right, so let's do the following.
More.
We've got this working pretty good. Oh, the show work though. Show's not going to work, right? Because I specify, let's fix show at least before we're done here. So the idea on show would be to specify a file, but I can't do that anymore. I need to specify an org, a model. What if we,
Was show the one that gave you all the model information?
it's almost like it would be good to give these an ID.
Mm,
Yeah, show gives me all the information, right? But from here, I should be able to do a very quick show. I shouldn't have to say show Quen ABGFF, this file. I'd like to be able to say show number one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hmm.
Now, if I wanted to give it an ID, the idea then would be, let's say that we only showed this in some sort ordering. Let's say I was going to do this quickly, right? But then the ID would change as you add models. That would not be good. And right now, to do a show, you'd need all three pieces of information to know where to get to. That's a lot of work. So if we were going to give this an ID, then, well, you know what? Let's say I did a file system search for this file, right? I don't know if I'll ever have two of the same file. Let's assume that we don't have two of the same file. Okay. So then
Okay.
this isn't a bad thing. We can do the following. Okay. We need a function that can find a file. All right. Like find a file location.
Okay.
Maybe we add it to our install program here. So here's a function. It's called find model, and just given a model name and the model path, right? I need to at least know where we're looking. And it'll bring you back this. So what do I know? I know I'm going to have to do another one of these crazy things again, right? Actually, we just do this. I don't even need the path. Well, I have to use the path here. Let's do it this way. This has to be raw. This has to be raw. The other thing is, so if we do this, we come down here, we eventually get here, right?
Yeah.
And then we ask the question, info dot name equals model name, return. Ooh, is this the full name though, right? Or is this the full name? Or on the output, no, it's just a file name. Okay. So that's what we're looking for. If the name equals the model name, then I think there's an info dot. No, it's not an info. Is it file entry dot? Why? I don't even need info. The file entry equals this. Man, I wish there was a way to get the full path, right? I need the full path now. I need to know what my... Okay, well, let's just do it. File path join. Model path org. And then model entry. And then the file name, right? And if by some miracle we end up here and we return okay. This could work, right?
Yeah.
This is fine. Find model locates the physical location on disk and full path. Okay. So now that I got a find model, let's go back to show. essentially the model, it's going to be install dot find model, where it wants the model name and the model path. Okay. And that could return an error. So if there is an error, we can just return the error because I like the messaging already. Okay. Let's see if this works.
Okay.
So if I come back here, show. We have a file named that, right? Quen 38B. Yeah. Let's try this one. Beautiful, dude. Worked.
Okay.
We should, I don't think we have to, maybe at some point we specify specifically where it is, but okay. All right, so we fixed some model loading and projection matching. All right, let's release this code. Let's just make sure the tests work before I do anything. Nope, tests don't work. So
Nope.
it broke the test. So we're gonna have to we're at the top of the hour, so it's not finding models anymore. Yeah, because it's not in that location anymore, is it?
Exactly. Its path changes.
I thought the tests. Oh, yeah. Shit.
Yep.
So we need the find function now, essentially. I'm wondering if we should have done it this way, right? Now, I can fix all this with install find model. Watch. Oh, but these return errors, don't they? That's fine. What if I just did this for now? Okay, so if I did this, you know, we're going to have to add to this, unfortunately.
Must find model.
You know what the must says?
What is that? Must find.
It says that if there's an error, don't return an error, panic. But we don't have to return an error. This is good for when you're writing tests and stuff. Or in the case of my situation, like testing, where this shouldn't really fail. Now I can do this. But if it's not there, it will panic. So I'm not like
Okay.
blind. But this is only good for like testing.
Got it. Okay. Cool.
Okay. Let's see what happens if I run the test now. Better. So that function became
Much
important.
better.
We needed it in a couple places, didn't we? Nice, dude. This code's coming along really well. All right. Once this passes, I'm going to release this code because I have to fix the AI code now.
Okay.
I'll fix the AI code. This will be release 103. So I got to remember already to do that here. 103. I'll show you how I do a release too, and then we'll
Yeah.
sort of end this.
I was gonna ask that when you're doing like releases, like I guess what do you consider worth doing for like a release?
So there's two philosophies here. You can take the Llama CPP philosophy and just release several times a day as you're fixing bugs and doing things. This is why every time we
Okay.
run these apps, there's a good chance you're reinstalling Llama CPP libraries. I am under
Okay.
that, guys, because I have the AI project that needs this code and I want to keep it up to date. The
hmm
other option is the Ron Evans option, where you only release like once a week or once every 2 weeks, and people can use the main branch if they want the latest, greatest stuff.
Got it.
Right.
Okay.
And that's to me a pain in the ass because then if I test something like for a project like this, I can't be using ISMA latest all the time, right? As the
hmm
dependency. So let's push these final changes, right? So just some final. This is on a branch, so just some final changes. I don't care about this. We push. All right, we push this up. Now, the next step here is we're going to create a PR. I'm going to name the report release 1.0.3. I'm going to say what's changed. So what's changed, right? So broke the model. We broke the install model function for better projection support. Yeah, it's a breaking change. I'm sorry. I'm not going to go to a 2.0 on this, right? So I promised I wouldn't break the API, but I don't think anybody's using the installer just yet. So whatever, dude, it is what it is. We're still early. Okay, now, okay, fixed CLI tools related to downloading models. I can break the CLI and the web stuff all I want. I'm not really saying I have backwards compatibility with that. I can't break the model API. That is for sure, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so these are the two things. So I'm going to create this pull request. Now, I already, and normally what I would do also before I release this, and I just do this manually because I don't want this running all the time. I'm going to go into my
hmm
actions and I'm going to run a workflow on my branch. I used to have it set up where it would run this over and over again every time I pushed. It's just too much. Like I don't need it. So what I'm doing
Okay.
now is right before I set up the PR, but before I merge it, when I merge it, it will run the tests again.
hmm
But this will at least let me know that I didn't break anything at the Linux level or at the testing level here. So unfortunately, this is going
Okay.
to take a bit. Like this just sucks. But um, just sucks. Now there's a cache that's involved in this too. So normally you don't have to re-download all these models because it stays cached. But okay, so this is the good part. If you get through the initial initialization where it gets to the first test, we're usually going to be 100% okay. And Ron Evans just sent me a message, and he tagged his release finally to 1.0.0. So before we push this PR, we're going to switch to 1.0.0 of Yzma and go through this all over again. Actually, we can do that right now.
Nice.
All right, so let's go and do that while this is see, damn it. So we couldn't find the model, right? I hate GitHub. So because it downloaded in the wrong, well, not necessarily. Yeah, it may not have downloaded things in the right place. So we're gonna have to look at that. Okay, let's do two things before we can push this. Ron just did a update to this for now version just 1.0.0. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a make tidy. And now I can do something I couldn't do before, which is upgrade dependencies, because there's a whole thing about how you version things where Go is going to be happy about it. Let me do this. So just make sure I got latest of everything too. Okay, so Yzma went to 1.0. Okay, beautiful. Now I'm going to run the tests again locally. Just setting something to Ron. All right. Ron is a madman. I always call him a madman. The amount of work he's done to get this code where it's at and working and solid the way it is. Like everything I'm doing sits on top of it. I've told Ron, like, just give me the raw Llama CPP APIs and make them solid. Like I don't need any of the extra. Kronk is going to be all the extra bells and whistles on top, right? Like it makes it easy to use. You know, what I need are solid, low-level APIs that kick ass. Okay, so while these tests are running, let's go back into our GitHub workflow.
Okay.
So yeah, I didn't change this. So we have a couple of
Okay,
choices.
so that's
We could use our CLI now to do the install, which would be better, I think, than this. This is why it failed. So if I cheat a little bit, which is what I love to do, and I come over to Ron's, come on, GitHub, do what you got to do. You gotta be kidding me. Git pull. Okay, whatever. Okay, Ron has a CLI tool as well, right? Like, and I could just steal a little bit of this here for a second. So let's do this. So what if I took this, but install the cronk command, right? And that would mean changing directory to cronk. I do a go install. So I do everything that he just did, right? And then let's say that I'm just going to steal this whole thing and change it. So yeah,
Mhm.
let me just steal two of these. Actually, we'll just keep it. Okay, so I do that. That's the base folder. But now what we do is the pull command, right? Let's just try this for a second, but not with make. It's going to be with Kronk. So when I look at his code, he did eat, right? So I should be able to do this. Kronk. Pull. URL, which would be this one, right? And then this one. And this one. But I won't need this. We're going to do like this, right? So I got the Quen 3, this with the projection and the embedding. Okay. I think that's all I'm using. I'm not doing a test on audio. I do a chat test with reasoning and everything here. I can't run the GPT models in GitHub. They're too big. I do the vision and I do the embedding. So following what Ron is doing, that should work. And I shouldn't. Yeah, I'm going to use the default, which we don't set anything up for defaults. So that should work, knowing that it's going to use cronk home because I have a defaults package. So when we're looking for the models directory, if this variable exists, we use it. If not, we try to get the home. Cronk models. Okay, let's try this. Okay.
All right.
It's kind of cool if this works too, because then we're using this, which means we could also use that for the libs if this works. So let's try it. Fixing action. Git push origin bill. I know we're running over. Everybody can kind of drop. I'm just going to at least try to hack this till we are done.
Yep.
So come back here. And what I can do is just come back in here. Just run another one. Run workflow. This is the worst part of your life. You waste hours of your watching this fail, constantly just watching it fail and fight it. It just sucks, dude. But all you have to do is add a file under GitHub.GitHub workflows. It automatically sees it. You don't do anything else. And then it will just start running it. And then you can specify how it runs. So I'm just saying only when there's a push to the main branch, and then once a day at I think it's UTC midnight, just in case there's new libraries, or like I just want to double check that the latest not ESMA. Eventually I'd love to pull down the latest ESMA, but at least the Llama CPP libraries are always working. Okay, so that's my tool working, right?
Nice. Okay.
Which is a good test because now this is part of the test runner. When I run the tests locally, I skip the model piece. I assume the models are there when I run it the tests locally.
Okay.
But here I'm in a fresh environment. I always
Yeah.
make sure I got the latest CPP libraries. But when I'm running it locally, I just assume I've downloaded the models already. So we got close, man. It looks like the second pull
Chrome.
failed. Looks like the second pull failed. This one, which I should do first. Let's double check that code and we'll run it again.
Okay.
But it looks like this one failed. So pull accepts one arg received 2. Oh. So I can't say exact args here, can I? So let's ask, I know why it failed. Bummer. All right. How do I tell Cobra that this command has one mandatory argument, but an optional second arg? I love this AI tooling for this shit, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, see, there's range args. Ah, I love it. Okay, let's try it again. And I moved that to be the first one. Fixing pull command. All right, this is my life. Back to the drawing board. You used to be able to
Back
say
to workflows.
rerun. Let's see if this works. Instead of creating another one. No, this is your life, dude. When you get to this point, but this is why I always say have a deploy first mentality. Get this stuff working first while the project is simple. So then, as it
Yeah.
evolves, you fight less over time.
Gotcha. So when you're saying that this is the part that you mean, getting all the workflows set up, all the
God, it sucks. I have no many hours I've spent here, and I had to give up. I had the Mac. I had a Mac test runner working, but the Mac environment they're giving me is so bad. It's like CPU, no GPU, no memory. I could barely test anything in it. So I said, screw it. I test everything on my Mac anyway. You see, I need to fix. The problem is I'm having this runner do the pull, right?
Mhm.
And then when I run the tests here, I don't have it pull the models because I'm doing it in the thing. But if I had this now pull the models, I could take this out of the now it's working, right? I could take this out of the runner. Like what I really should do. This assumes that this is already here, right? You see, I have a little installer, but all it's doing
Mhm.
is it's all it
Yeah.
does is installs the libraries, but I don't have it install the models. I just have it walk through the models
Oh,
just to
okay.
validate that they're there. But even the libraries here that I'm installing, maybe I should get rid of all this. And if I use my libs, right? If I use my libs, which is basically just libs here, I could come back in here. I install the cron command, right? How does he do the libs? I don't think he caches the libs because it's just fast. Yeah. So if I did the same thing, let's say, where's AI cronk? Install libs, right? Libraries. Cronk libs is all that command is. Cronk libs. Oh, I need to run. So that would use cronk to also do the libs, right? Which would then say to me that, see, this is my problem. When I run it locally, well, then I would do the following. Let me see though. Okay, this failed anyway, dude. So it doesn't really matter. I don't think it used the latest code. I think it just ran that again. I think when I make a code change like that, I have to do this. Or it's still using the old code
Oh,
from that
okay.
commit.
Yeah. I don't.
All right. So let's say that the installer didn't do anything but walked it, because I don't even walk it anymore. I just want to see if install llama is 1. Oh, it's going to try to do this twice. Oops. Or whatever. I mean, that should be fine. What if I got rid of that idea of install llama? Okay. All I want is okay. What installed version does is just gives me the currently installed version. All right. And I can just sort of just a string. So this is assuming that this stuff is already installed then. Okay. Let's say we got rid of this. Okay, that's downloading. So all this would do then is show the current version and just show the models. I just like seeing it. Like, I just like to know that they're there, right? But it's not going to do any install. Now, because it's not going to do any install, even when I run it locally now, what does that mean? It means that we've got to be able to install everything before we do the test, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so here's install models. And here's install libraries. Here's install models. Now, what we could do here as well I have a lot of files here, but The big problem here is I got to install cronk, right? That's fine. Install cronk. It's fast. So Ron just pinged me again. We're going to have to stop because I got to do a training, but.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Here's the idea. So we did that. We do that. I'm guessing if I don't put quotes around here, they're going to complain. No, it didn't matter. So I'm going to play this later, but that would give me this one, right? That gives me these two. That gives me this one. And then I get this one. I get this one. Oops. Then I have this one, right? Now, I don't know why that went yellow, but I'll figure it out later. So now if I'm going to run the tests, it says install libraries and install models, right? And that will essentially install a new version of cronk, wherever that is. Now that gets interesting then, because let's see if this finished. Of course not, it failed. All right.
Gotta love GitHub.
Yeah, but why is it even trying to do GPT OSS? Okay, I broke something. It shouldn't be trying to run. So I took some environment variable maybe out because it shouldn't have been trying to run.
OSS. Yeah. Huh.
Okay, I'm gonna have to fix this after training. But I don't know why we don't have this in here. Oh,
There
when
it
I
is.
added
Yep.
this, I didn't tell it not to do that when we were running in. Damn it. Yeah, you see how complicated this is? You
Yep.
see, when watch. See if GitHub Actions is true. There are things that we have to
Okay.
skip. So see, now I can't do this in a var. I have to do this in a init function. This just went. But I can't do this one. If GitHub Actions is true, because I can't run that one. But I can run the rest of them. See?
Yeah.
Those tests won't run. So we're like super close here now, right? Because we've got that now. And then this other work that I'm doing, And technically, I could put this in the installer now. Well, no. That's fine. Model. Yeah, we're assuming that these models already exist. That's fine. Just keep this here. Okay. The installer really isn't an installer anymore, right? It's just validating a bunch of just doing validation now. Print info, right? Okay. So I should be able to say make test. What happens? So it reinstalled Kronk. It ran that. It identified that it's already installed. That's bad. Stop it. I got to do a double dollar sign here. But I don't even need this. It will do it auto magically. So just get rid of that. Okay. So some of these tests failed. The chat GPT test failed because
Auto file is required.
all right, that's fine.
Mm.
I do have Kronk pull there. I need to work on some output. There, okay. But it's there. Even the D. Oh, we gotta get rid of that. Fix that later. Oh, you know what we have to do?
Hmm.
When I list out all the models, which I just don't think I need to do anymore. We only want to do that if there's an actual file there, right? I'm showing the whole thing. But why do that with this command anyway? I could use a list. Let me just do this for now. Okay, so minus all that. So the GPT stuff failed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, because I don't have, okay, but GitHub Actions should not have been, oh, no, GitHub Actions is not true, see? Oh, it's the other way around. If it's not true.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah. I'm saying if I'm running in GitHub Actions, I don't need it. Like, don't check it.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm going to clean all this output up. So this is now running. I wonder if you can do something like this, right?
Yeah, I think it's echo.
Okay, all the tests pass. Let's just see if that works. Yeah, it worked. I don't know if I can just say echo a carriage return line fee, but
Do you need the second echo?
I just want the
I
extra
don't.
space if I can get it.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it, right? That's perfect.
Nice.
Install models. I didn't get the extra. This output, I don't think I understand. I don't think this is working. This is something's wrong here. I don't know what it is. There's some hidden character there. Weird, right?
It's odd.
Yeah, that's better. That's not good. It thinks it needs to download. So there's something bad with the download there. And it didn't get renamed. Sorry, so something broke on the rename. Oops, I got rid of the wrong one. All right, that's fine. There's work to do. But we're getting close. See, this said already downloaded. Oh, no wonder, dude. idiot. I specified the projection file. Remember, I said we didn't need it. I specified the projection file. That's why that happened. All right. So look, now I've got the make file similar to the way this works, right?
Okay.
So this is using the CLI tool now to download the libs in the models.
Nice.
I don't need this anymore. So let's just run this one more time up there. And let's pray. Let's pray. As pray as we can go. Dude, this is like my life, man.
Staring at the screen.
Yeah. Just watching this fail. Just your life being told you're a loser over and over and over again. That's what this is all about. You just told you're a loser.
Hold your breath
Okay.
for 5 minutes while it runs.
So the tests are much more in line now with, and this lets me test some of the tooling on top of it. Let's see where we are here. Gotta definitely kill this in 3 minutes. Gotta set up for the next thing. So I'll put
yeah.
this PR
Oh,
together
wait.
later today. Okay, install the libraries using the tooling because it says
Yeah.
current version. That's good. That's good. That's a blessing. Oh, all this tooling so I could write a web server, a simple one. Dude, we've moved on to the next
Yeah.
level.
Download.
I don't know what's going on here though, but this is good. I could do a models. Well, doesn't matter. Current version tells me that I'm seeing them. This is perfect, dude. This is going to work now. So I don't know what this. Oh my God! I published home. We gotta get rid of that. That was when I didn't have the double. Oh, I guess that never made it up. Yeah, I know. We gotta go. This is good though. I guess I never added it, so that was good. All right. This is working. We got through our first test.
Nice.
Okay. All right. So I gotta kill this thing now. All right. So where am I here? Well, okay. All right. I'm gonna finish this up. We've got this working now. I can create a release later, clean up some little things, but now we're using our CLI tool to sort of do everything, and our tests are more matched with the Linux side. And now we have a way to control and bring project files together and all that. And remember, the Cronk API has to be separated from the other thing, but it's not bad. So, all right, killing it. See everybody again later.